Okay, we're recording now.
Okay, I am going to call the April, do I know what day it is? 20th meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust to order. Confirming member access as a preliminary matter. This is Brooke Moore, Chair of the Nantucket Affordable Housing, Vice Chair of the Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Christy Ferrantella.
Here.
Dave Iverson.
Here.
Rima Sherry.
Here.
Allison Mitchell.
Here.
And Penny Dye.
Penny, we can't hear you.
Oh.
Unmute.
I said here.
Okay.
Now we hear it.
Oh, Ken's on the boat.
Here, here. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tucker Holland.
Here.
Ken Bogrand.
Here.
Eleanor Antonetti.
I'm going to get seasick watching Ken.
Okay, and anticipated and potential speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Randy Alberry.
I'm here.
Thank you. And that's it. Okay. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such public participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment to those members of the public that have joined via Zoom. For this meeting, the Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust is convening by video conference via the Zoom app, as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other people may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda for this public information webinar for this meeting. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, as the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members and registered participants, inviting each by name to provide any comment or questions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. And for items with public comment, members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Okay, I think we got through it. All right, now let me just find out which tab has the agenda. There we go. Okay, so we have convened. The next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Rima Sherry, second.
I'll second it.
By Penny Dye. All those in favor by roll call vote. Rima Sherry.
Aye.
Penny Dye. I think she said aye. Dave Iverson.
Aye.
Allison Mitchell.
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella. Christy. I'm wondering if she stepped away. I vote aye, so it passes. All right, the next item on the agenda is approval. Nope, we're postponing that until May 4th. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the closing cost assistance program applications. The first is 45A Beachgrass. And Tucker, do we need anyone from staff to speak on this?
I mean, I'll let Eleanor speak to both of these applications.
Okay,
Sure,
Eleanor?
I can just tell you that both applications are complete. The applicants have been very helpful and cooperative. If there was anything missing, they immediately provided it for me. So we are all set in terms of the requirements and the timing. The 45A Beachgrass has an unknown closing date at this point, but that's built into the various agreements that have been submitted.
Okay, great. And I'm sorry, I don't recall, Randy, are you 45A Beachgrass or 2A Blueberry? 2A Blueberry, okay. So there's no one from the public present to speak about 45A Beachgrass. Any comments or questions from the board?
Eleanor, would it make sense to have some kind of deadline with regard to the 45A, like whether it be end of September or by the end of the year, just something that isn't totally open-ended?
I mean, if you saw in the documents that I sent to you on Friday, at the very end of that, I believe the last page behind the purchase and sale, there was a letter from the Richmond company to the applicants. And if you want to read that, it just, I mean, I don't know. We could do that and they could come back and extend it, like if there were some sort of a unforeseeable delay. At this point, the letter, as the letter states, the PNS is dated April 1, and it acknowledges that the applicant is / purchaser is coming before us for CCAP assistance for a unit in a new to be formed condominium consisting of a total of 2 units, due in part to the fact that the subject property is registered land. The condominium cannot be legally formed and the closing date cannot be ascertained until approval of the master deed and certain other necessary condominium documents have been approved by the land court department, etc. While timing of these procedures are outside of the control of the seller, we expect that approval of the requisite documents can be obtained and title to your unit can transfer between May 31 and June 21 of this year. So to give them a little wiggle room, I suppose maybe September's there's certainly a lot of wiggle room. It's up to you if you want to give them 3 months as opposed to 1 or 2 or 3. But we do have that date frame from the seller. And we do know, of course, all of us know that, and I especially, land court delays can be protracted. So I wouldn't disagree with September as an outlier date.
What is the pleasure of the board? Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve closing cost assistance up to $15,000 for the beach grass property, and with a stipulation that they close by September 15th or come back for an extension.
Second.
Okay, so that's a motion from Rima and a second from Penny. Any questions or concerns from the board? Okay, Ken, can you mute? Okay, by roll call vote, Rima Sherry,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Dave Iverson,
Aye.
Allison Mitchell,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that's unanimous. Okay, and now we'll move on to 2A Blueberry Lane. And Eleanor, if you want to give us a quick summary, and then Randy, if you'd like to say anything after that.
Sure, I'm actually a little bit familiar with this property for a variety of reasons, but as to the trust, the subdivision Covenant subdivision was approved by the planning board within the last 6 months, I believe. Randy, is that correct? So Randy's here if she has anything she wants to say.
Yeah, that's right.
So at any rate, they're all set on that, and they have a definitive closing date. I forget what it is, Randy. What is your closing date?
It's May 28th.
Okay. So we're all set for, there's the one outstanding document will be provided in time for this to go to the warrant. They're fully aware of the various dates that I need to comply with in terms of getting things to the warrant. So I feel confident that this one is ready for your approval.
Thank you, Eleanor. Randy, did you want to say anything to us?
No, I don't really have anything to add. I have a caveat that the address of the lot may change. The bank's aware, the covenant program's aware. It's because the lot was subdivided into the 4 different lots. They just cut the driveway for the house that I'm purchasing off of South Shore. So at first we thought it might be off Blueberry, and so that's why it's 2A Blueberry. It's on a plan, and so the spot will not change. But I have a feeling my address will probably be South Shore Road. So Eleanor, if that happens, I'll just let you know if there's any switch.
Yeah, so just FYI, as someone who's really familiar with subdivision control, I saw that, and as I said, I've been dealing with this in terms of the yard sale as well as planning board stuff. So I know that it could be 28R South Shore Road, or, formerly known as 28. I know, but I looked at your PNS and it more or less sort of indicated Blueberry. So that's why we listed it, but it's not a problem. It's still the same lot.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll keep you posted if it changes.
Okay, thank you.
Does it make sense to craft a motion that leaves room for a reassignment of address?
Yeah, we can do also known as.
Okay. All right.
Or sometimes known as SKA. It's one or the other.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any board questions or comments or a motion if you're ready?
I'll make a motion to approve the closing cost assistance application for 2A Blueberry Lane, which may be known by another address at some point in the future.
Second.
Okay. Okay, that's second from Christy. By roll call vote, Rima Sherry,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Dave Iverson,
Aye.
Allison Mitchell,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that's a unanimous vote. Congratulations, Randy.
Thank you all very much. Do you need me to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, take care. You're welcome to stay, but not necessary.
I can't today, but thank you.
Okay, take care. All right, great. Moving on, HPP update. Tucker, are you going to take this one?
Sure. Yeah, this is just a brief update. Judy and Jen are working with their team on providing the draft report in full, the draft production plan, a week from this Friday. So we've kind of emphasized to them that it's important that we get that draft report by roughly noon on that day so that we can circulate it all to you all in advance of your next meeting on May 4th. So you would receive it sometime Friday afternoon of April 30th and have a few days, including over the weekend, to take a look. And then obviously we can determine at the May 4th meeting, how much conversation and additional work needs to happen. But the idea is that we're trying to get this document into a shape that the Affordable Housing Trust feels good about. And then it is part of the required process that the document go before the planning board and the select board for their review and adoption before it then gets sent up to DHCD. And our goal is to have it sent to DHCD on or before roughly June 10th. And as everyone knows, our current housing production plan doesn't expire until October. So We do have a little bit of room here, but we would like to get that up to the state on or around June 10th, if we can.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing silence, I'm going to go to the next item on the agenda, which is an update from the Communications Subcommittee. And we did not organize ourselves in terms of who was going to say what. Rima, do you want to talk through the document, or so we sent you basically an email summary of our brainstorming and thoughts, and then we have some other things, visuals to present to the group. So
Yeah, let me find the document so I can open it. And it's in-
Penny, well, Rima's looking. Penny, did you want to?
Yeah, I don't think I received that email.
It
It
was
was-
it was a PDF of the email that I sort of made into a PDF. It was part of the things I sent you Friday. If you'd like, I can
No,
share.
I didn't get anything from you Friday. I just checked.
Did everybody else get things?
I got it somewhere, but now I can't find it.
So
Yeah,
hold
Penny,
on.
You're on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went out at FYI. It went out at 5:27 p.m. on Friday the 16th. But I'm happy to
Yeah,
share.
can you just send it again? Because I did not receive that.
Of course. Let me just
Thank you.
do that right now.
Oh, I know where it is. Okay.
And I can also
Yep.
share it.
It's with the Zoom invite.
Okay. All right. I got it. I don't know if the goals that we set for this public outreach campaign prior to town meeting were to explain the need, explain how we spent the $25 million, explain the plans for the next few years and how much we need to execute them and stay in safe harbor. And then number 4 is explain the various funding articles. And 5, get pro-housing people to show up at town meeting. And the way we are doing that is first through a video series that is in the works now. We have had NCTV's camera person interview with either Brooke or I, people who have been involved in housing struggles and someone who has had a housing success through our programs. And those will be edited and put together. So we'll have those for May to go on social media. And each one should be about 3 minutes long. We'll see. Some of them might be a little longer than that. Explaining how we spent the 25 million. We're working on a graphic, easy to understand, easy to read chart. And the same, there's a timeline that Ally has created for the next 5 years. And we'll probably bump that up graphically and also maybe do a narrative to explain that. The funding articles, I am working on a narrative, simple language explaining the articles that intend to fund the trust. And let's see, then advertising. And Ally has worked up some great little graphics that we can use on social media and that we can also work into some advertising in the INM and on Daybreak, Nantucket. We figured those were probably our best places. And then we're also getting on NCTV. Allison Forsgren is going to do a housing show on her show. I've reached out to Georgia Raisman. I don't know if she's doing her show or not this season, but I did send her a request to see if she wanted to have Ken on her show. And I'm yet to hear from her. And on the list, and then what, Daniel Griffin, Brooke, what was that?
Yeah, Daniel Griffin does a little interview show for the Athenaeum. And if you don't mind, I'll talk about the webinar too, because they're sort of intertwined with each other. So originally, I had been in conversation with the Athenaeum about co-hosting an event, a public webinar that would have a conversation about the impacts of housing insecurity on social emotional health in the community. And I've been talking to folks at Jennifer at A Safe Place and Amanda and Michael from Fairwinds for quite some time, both through Council for Human Services work and Affordable Housing Trust work. And they are very, very interested in doing a public presentation about the consequences of housing insecurity as they see it from a human services perspective. And the schools are also interested in talking about the impacts on educational outcomes for kids. And so we started with sort of the Athenaeum as being the platform for hosting such an event. And then this last week, we realized it probably needs to be a bigger thing than that. And so we've reached out to NCTV about setting a date the latter part of May to do a full-on public webinar with a panel of presenters that would be broadcast both live on YouTube and on NCTV 18, as well as available for subtitling in other languages and watching on YouTube at a later date, as well as public participation in that webinar format, similar to how the select board meets, with people who are able to be seen, panelists who are able to be seen, and attendees who are who actually can also be seen or just have their voices heard and ask questions. And the idea would be to present the impact on the community of housing insecurity from these various perspectives, and as well as potentially having a keynote speaker from the larger national conversation around housing insecurity that speaks on a topic that dovetails with the Nantucket experience. And as Michael from Fairwind said, someone who's not super drama, but just the facts kind of conversation, but that will be relevant and relatable to people on Nantucket. And so we're looking at Tuesday, May 25th as a potential date for that. I've reached out to NCTV. I have not heard back yet. So that's sort of where that is. And then sort of maybe doing something on a lower key basis with Daniel at the Athenaeum on a different housing related topic that would go out through their platform. So that's where that is.
Good. And maybe, I don't know if Tucker can do a screen share or Eleanor, she has them of the graphic of Allie's graphics, so we can all look at those.
I don't have those. Do you
Yeah,
have them, Tucker?
Yeah, Ali sent them to me so I can bring those up right now.
I just finished the PDF today. And then Tucker and I need to catch up, but we're going to catch up on the formatting idea behind the timeline and where we've spent the 25 million. But when you look at these graphics, it'll be the same, kind of branding color scheme. You'll see we stuck with everything, kind of like the logo, which is just kind of nice. So I just kind of boxed these in just so you could tell, ad from ad or graphic from graphic. But these are all right now sized as Instagram posts. They can be sized really in anything. But I just kind of started there with this idea that we could, however we are going to share them, need to share them. So some of them are very simple. Like you can see, some of them are very, don't we need teachers? They need housing, need nurses, need first responders. We could probably do 1,000 occupations that need housing. So those are obviously always subject to change. And then a few other, again, preserve our people, support Nantucket year-round housing. Let's stop the housing crisis from eroding the Nantucket year-round community. So there were a few that we just wanted to do that were just kind of like stood out. That would be, just nice somewhere, nice on Daybreak. And then you'd click and you'd be able to get more information, get to Rima's narratives about the housing articles and things like that. And then there's some facts that are just really, interesting and sort of mind-blowing sometimes. And those of us that are involved certainly have an idea exist. but a lot of people out there don't really know that. So we just threw in a few of these little facts. I am going to source everything, but I'm just waiting for a few kind of proper, resources to make sure I know how they need to be sourced on the bottom of these. But yeah, like the Nantucket by the numbers, you can see that from 1990 to 2020, median income went up 166%, whereas the average house price went up 711%. We just wanted to make it just very visually obvious, that those things are, out of whack, which we all know. Brooke and I looked into the other day, just kind of the percentage of transactions of single family dwellings over the last 5 years. And we noticed obviously a real drop in single family transactions under $1 million. We thought that stood out pretty well. So I made a slide about that. Those are both from the Fisher, Jen Shalley Allen's Fisher Real Estate whatnots. And then this one in the middle, I actually found this really kind of cool, it's called Monitoring the Nantucket Economy, an update to the 1993 economic base study, but they updated it in 2002. It's on the town archives. But I just found this really interesting information that shows us that within 20 years, these kind of drastic changes, and really that even in 2002, it was clear, and certainly before that, that the increase in housing prices was really not staying put sort of with the income, the median incomes. So I thought these two would kind of go together, whether they're slides or just a larger ad or something, but it just shows you how much has changed in 20 years. From the median family income, it really only changed about 40 grand, whereas the median home price obviously changed almost $2 million. So, we just kind of wanted to throw some things out there. If anyone has any facts or directions that they'd like to see some of these go, they're really fun and easy for me to put together. I used all the color schemes from our logo, which is great, so it keeps it all pretty concise. And then on a lot of them, you can see I put a little tagline on the bottom. It's not on every ad, but it's just kind of a way to tie them all together. That our goal is really to keep a resilient community together. And that's kind of what the Affordable Housing Trust is trying to do. So if anyone has any questions, or like I said, if you have any feedback or any ideas, I love it. And I can keep whipping them out. I think
Amazing
Penny.
job, Ally. Or the whole communication crew. This is great stuff.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay. I can't see everybody, so just unmute and chime in.
Tucker,
Oh,
would
okay.
you send that to me just so I can have it, please? Or somebody, please?
I'll send it to you.
I'll send it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Penny, I see you're unmuted. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, I did. Just that we have to be consistent. There are requirements about saying who's placing these ads. I can't see what's on the bottom, but it needs to say who's placing the ads. And it needs to be consistent.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Penny, are you considering these political ads?
I'm not, but I think you should clear that with somebody who knows more than I do about it.
All right. I think it's easy to put a paid for next to the logo or something. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I can add anything here. And I did try to get the logo on all of them, but obviously I know, the logo is just a logo. So no, I could easily add any little blurb anywhere for sure.
But we'll take that under advisement, Penny, in terms of making sure we're complying with any requirements. Yep. Yep. Thanks to Ally for all the graphic design work. Excellent, excellent. Any comments on the other outreach efforts, webinar? Okay. Hearing none. This could be the quickest meeting we've had in 100 years.
Are you
Um,
looking to, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Madam Chair. Are you looking
Yeah.
to approve this or is this just for information?
So I guess the question is, there will be expenditures associated with placing advertisements, and we generally have what our policy, Tucker, on staff leeway on spending. If we
This
could
is,
just,
this is under that.
so if I mean, I guess a motion to approve the direction of public outreach might be worth having on in the minutes. If someone were so inclined.
Yeah, I mean, I think we want to approve running, running these ads subject to like town council review and the appropriateness of, the trust running them, as Penny was pointing out. But I think, something in favor of running them just would give a clear direction.
Okay, great. Anyone ready to make such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so Christy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Dave. By roll call vote, Rima, Sherry.
I'm sorry, could you,
Sure.
someone sort of craft something so I can not make it up
Oh,
on the fly?
okay. Oh, so I took it from Tucker's words. Christy, do you want to go as you understand it? Your motion?
Yes, to make a motion to approve the advertising as long as it is in line with town councils and what's appropriate for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund to put forth before town meeting.
Okay. And Dave, does that comport with your second?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so by roll call vote, Rima Sherry,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Dave Iverson,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella,
Aye.
and Allison Mitchell.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so let me just get back to the agenda. Too many windows open on my computer. Oh, goodness, I've lost it.
Other business,
There we go. Thank you.
Well,
next meetings, basically.
Other business. So Tucker, you want to review the schedule for us?
Sure. As we spoke about a few moments ago, our next scheduled meeting is on May 4th. That's going to be an important one for the review of the housing production plan draft. Then our regular May meeting occurs on May 18th, and depending on what comes out of the discussion on May 4th, that also may be further discussion of the housing production plan. And then we have one more meeting before the annual town meeting, which would be on June 1st. So hoping everyone is available for this upcoming series.
Penny?
Yeah, I think I told Tucker already, I'm not going to be here May 4th. We're able to participate, just so you know.
And so, and Penny and I had corresponded about this. This would go for any trust member. We will send out the draft plan as planned on April 30th, presuming we receive it. And still would very much welcome written comments, even if you cannot attend the meeting, so that those might be discussed with the group.
Okay. And I would add, mark your calendar for the evening of May 25th. That is the proposed date for the webinar. And I believe we'll probably have the 18th as the backup date. So I would also set aside that evening if you can to participate pending NCTV schedule. So we'll let everybody know as soon as we know how that scheduling goes. Okay. Any other business? All right. Since there are no members of the public present, I think we can blow through public comment. Any board comments? Rima?
Do we have executive session?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't get the link.
We do. I can recirculate the link I just wanted to mention before we do that, that we have representatives from the Department of Housing and Community Development coming on Tuesday, April 27th. The rain date is Thursday, April 29th. You all have received a couple of emails about this, but hoping that everyone would be able to join at some point during the course of the day as we tour a variety of sites, different projects that Habitat, Housing Nantucket, Richmond, the town, all have going here. So I just re-emphasize that. So I will recirculate the invite for the executive session if you all want to make the move to that.
Okay. Penny, you want to take a stab at it?
I will do my best. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting to go into executive session for the purpose of considering the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Dave. By roll call, Rima Sherry,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Dave Iverson,
Aye.
Christy Ferrantella,
Aye.
Allison Mitchell.
Aye.
Okay, great. See you over on the other Zoom link.
Can we just have 5 minutes? I need to rest this whole,
Absolutely.
thank you.
So let's make it 1:45.
Okay.